Hey, live on YouTube. I love going live on YouTube, talking with my guests in the after show to just kind of talk about like one thing that came up on the show that we want to go a little bit deeper in because you can't talk about everything. We always get to the end of the show and there's always like a few questions that I have, or there's things that the guest is like going, I wanted to say so much more. So this is an opportunity to do that here, to kind of have fun with it, to share with the YouTube audience a little bit different stuff so that's not all the same everywhere. And we know that you as YouTubers, you want to know like to-dos, how to get down the road, what to do. And we are both authors. We published our books in November. Show your book, darling. My name is Cyndilu, and I'm the founder of the beBOLDyou, and I have Becoming BOLDyou, and this is my guest, Bonita, and she has Who Stole My Significance. I was privileged to design her book cover, which was so much fun. But we were just talking, Bonita, about, you're from Texas. I'm from New Zealand, just so people know that piece. We were just talking on the show about the books. And I realized that I would really love to just share here the book writing journey for both of us and kind of to give people an opportunity to see that it is not impossible to write a book, that you can actually take ideas and thoughts and things that you're doing in everyday life and put them into a book. Because that's what I saw you do with your book. Like your Amazing Women's Network is basically doing everything that's in your book, right?
What do you mean?
So the Amazing Women's Network
kind
of takes what's in your book and puts it into action.
Right. Yes, exactly.
So you took your life experiences and wrote what's been helpful and what's shifted and what's changed.
For sure. Yeah. So I think nonfiction is definitely one where you're talking about your own experiences and out of your own story. To me, now I've never written a fiction book, so but character development and all of that I'm the character and I'm talking about my story. So I think that's the easy part about writing when you're doing a nonfiction book and you're talking about your personal story. So yeah, it is. It's all connected. It's about stuff that's important to me, stuff I've learned. And that really helped because it's like, okay, I just needed to decide what are the important things that I want to share with my audience, and of course you need to know who you're talking to. So I knew who I was talking to and then figuring out what do I want them to know? What were 10 things that I wanted them to know, right? Because we got 10 chapters.
Right.
Yeah.
How did you come up with those 10 things?
I find myself, and you probably do too, like talking about the same things all the time. Like, your core beliefs or core values, the things that you feel that are most important. So I pretty much talk about the same things all of the time. And then, so some of them, let me look at some of my chapters as far as like, just to kind of jog my memory. Yeah. So there were things that I've talked about like in speeches or workshops I've done or Facebook Lives I've done. And there's things that I find myself talking to women about all the time, or things that happened to me, and a lot of times I'm like, I used to be like, am I the only one who goes through this? Well, I'll read it in a book by another influencer. Oh, okay. It's not just me, so that's always encouraging when I realize, okay, it's not just me. Like there are a lot of other women who go through this or who think this. So how my chapters came about is, things that I've shared, like I said, in workshops or been a guest speaker or things that I talk about and that are, I think, the pivotal things that made the difference for me or the biggest revelations that I've had that helped me get to my next level is really what I end up sharing in the book.
That's pretty cool. And mine's kind of an interesting twist on that.
Okay.
I had this idea that I wanted to write about personalities because I kind of saw some things that I felt like were missing.
Okay.
And I just pondered it. and processed it and studied all kinds of different personality tests and took every one I could possibly find and was really just curious. I was totally curious.
Hmm.
And I got this whole idea of a whole framework for a personality expressions way to kind of describe the personalities that was a little bit different. So it took different aspects that maybe some of the other ones either had, like a piece here, a piece there, a piece here, and kind of put them all together. But it was in actually putting the book together that I got clarity. Rather than I had the clarity and I wrote, I had the ideas and the thoughts, but I didn't have it all down clear. I just kind of had theoretical things. So in writing this book, I found out that I need to talk about with others what I'm going to share about. This book was originally going to be beBOLDyou, just the information as to like what the different types were, and very informational. Here it is, blah, 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 blah. And it became becoming beBOLDyou when I talked to a friend of mine, Cassandra, and I've had this on the show when I had her with me. I told her, you were the reason that it became that title, because she and I had a conversation that completely shifted her life. And I watched her in front of me by being able to tell and share her story that she'd never shared with anybody. She had a safe place with me and was able to share her story and share things about her life that she'd never shared before. I watched her become.
Wow.
And she became because she figured out her identity in that moment. And she was set free from some things that had been put on her as a definition of her identity. And she was given permission. I mean, we shouldn't need permission, but we do, right? She was given permission to choose who she wanted to be, to realize that it didn't have to be defined by anybody but her.
Yes.
And it completely shifted the book.
That's awesome.
That was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. It blew my mind. So the book that I had planned is not the book that I wrote.
Wow. Love that. Love that.
Yeah. So exciting. Are you going to write another book?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Do you know what the title is yet?
No, actually, what I'll be focusing on next would be a complement to this book. A workbook is really what I want to do next.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'll do my fiction based on fact book next. I really want to do that. I don't know, but I think, yeah. So next steps is a workbook, and I don't know what's going to happen after that, Cyndilu. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely see myself writing several books. And I'm thinking, as I talk to women, there's probably some things in this book that I may end up doing a whole book out of that needs a little more digging and delving, you know? So we'll see. I don't know yet.
Yeah, definitely. How did you find the process working with Vanessa Collins?
Amazing.
Right? I mean, amazing.
Yeah. I wanted to do and I still am. When we did that launch, I was able to like sing her praises there, because I was like, you know what, you were so amazing. Like, I want to be able to like talk about you so other people know about you. So I was able to do it on the launch, but I do want to do it again. But I'm doing it again here because
we're doing it right now.
But yeah, like, you know, Vanessa, you know, being able to write a book in 16 weeks, which is like, nobody thinks you can do that. Most people, I mean, because most people you meet have been working on their book for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years on one book. And now I'm like, I can't even imagine. Like, that's like, there's no reason to do that. So I'm so glad, because of Vanessa, I know that, no, I don't have to take 10 years to write one book. Like, you can have lots of books written in 10 years. So yeah, like, she's very, you know, just, she has a system. She's very patient, but yet she is no nonsense at the same time. Like, I feel like, you know, she'll let you know, okay, you need to get it together, get your butt in gear. But yet, you know, she's just very helpful, and you just feel like you have somebody truly on your side that wants you to win. and her mantra, no book left behind. She's serious about it. It's not just words. She's shown to me and many others that she's very serious. If you come in her path and you have a book to get out, she's going to do everything in her power to help you get it out. So yeah. I'm just so grateful and so blessed to have come in contact with her.
And it was awesome to have the people in the class that had started it a year ago and life happened and they couldn't finish it for whatever reason, because sometimes life does happen and you can't.
Yeah.
She just would allow them to come back in and to work with it. And she would work with them and she would follow up and make sure, if you didn't show up for a couple of weeks, you were going to get a call, you were going to get a message saying, hey, what's happening? Are you okay? She is not. She says they're like her babies, like these are her babiys. Right. And she's right, or her grandbabies, because we're the ones actually doing babies. It's like giving birth sometimes. It's like, it gets easier every time.
Yeah.
It does get easier. I now have 6 books total on Amazon. I have some different styles. I did a coloring book with some of my photography. Yeah, I took one of the places I went to down here in New Zealand and created a coloring book.
Awesome.
And then I created a couple of journals. I actually have one of those journals here. And it's got big places to write and then some things that I've written and some scriptures and things like that. So I'm doing a set of 9. I'm doing all the fruits of the spirit because I want people to focus on positive. And so it's fun. I'm loving it. I'm like, okay, who knew I loved putting books together this much? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
My stack of I probably need to bring in my stack so that I have all of them,
You should.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. I'll have to put it together. Put a stack together that's for show. Yay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for doing this little after show. Do you have anything you want to ask me? I've been asking all the questions all day. We have about 2 minutes.
Well, what has been your favorite book thus far to write?
That I've written?
Yeah.
Definitely the Becoming Bold You.
I know you're gonna say that just because of the story you just told.
Yeah. I mean, these have been a blast because I can literally put this together in like 2 days, 3 days. These journals.
Wow.
There's not a lot of writing in them because of the quotes and scriptures. I mean, I know where to get that, right? But I've got the layout done now, so I can have it published in like 2-3 days.
Okay. Cool.
Learning to self-publish changed my world.
Yeah, for sure. Cuts out the middleman.
What's that?
I said it cuts out the middleman and years of begging people to accept your work, for sure.
Yeah. And because it's Amazon and it's print on demand, you're not paying for hundreds of copies to be printed and they're sitting somewhere in the corner and not getting sold because you're not promoting. If you don't promote, it just sits on there. It doesn't do anything. Exactly. But you get to promote. I gave away a whole bunch of books last night to people that are new on the Bold Impact Facebook page. The first 10 people got a copy of my book. And I thought, I didn't even think of doing it. I was just like, all of a sudden I'm just doing it. I'm like, how fun is it to have something to even just be able to give them?
It is
a riot. I'm like, let me just look through my book. Do you have my book yet?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I love it. That gives me an idea.
Yeah, I know. Well, thanks for joining me on this after show. In case I put this on the podcast, I'm just going to say my tagline out. Remember to always live your life out loud and be bold you. Thanks for listening.
Bye.